This is a quick overview of the Derm Annotator app that we've been developing in collaboration with Memorial Sloan Kettering. Um, so the application's undergone a number of versions, and this is the latest prototype. We have recently wrapped the entire application in a framework called Flask, so essentially this is now a Python backend. And we also have authentication that is set up using Google OAuth. So the first thing you do is you go to dermannotator.org/dev with another / after it. And what you should see on the right is a link that says sign in with Google. So you click on the sign in with Google. I'm already signed in, so I'll choose my account, which is Dave Gutman, obviously. And you'll come to the basic interface where on the right you'll see a random lesion that is chosen from the task list that's been assigned to the user. And on the left, again, some of these things will go away in the final version, but we have some debug code. You will see these are the different images that are in your work queue. As you can see, you click through them. So we're just going to go to the first image, make our lives easy, and we're going to click begin. Now, the way we've set this thing up is first thing you do is you hit markup normal skin. I'm going to select right now we have it hard-coded that it will only do squares. This can be changed depending on what we want. So you'll notice a plus and a minus at the top. These allow you to zoom in and you can drag the image to pan. So since you can't zoom at the same time that you draw, the first thing you have to do, you can either use the hotkey, which is Control-D, or you just click it and now you're in draw mode. So I'm going to hit the mouse once, hit the mouse twice, and I've now drawn a circle to represent a region of normal skin. I hit done annotating, then a markup lesion. Again, the draw mode in this case is already selected. I now click once to start a rectangle. I hit twice to end a rectangle. And this defines the basic region on the image where the lesion is located. I now hit done annotating. Now the next thing we do, and now you can see blue represents the rectangle where your lesion is, and the red circle is a normal region. So now we're going to basically try to classify the pattern of this image. So to make this a little easier for me, I'm going to go to markup pattern. So first I'm going to turn draw mode off and scroll over a little bit so I can see the lesion. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. So as I mentioned, you can zoom in and zoom out as you need to. You can see up here in the upper left corner, there's a thing. So I've zoomed in as much as this image permits. And so now what I need to do is I need to choose a pattern. In this case, since I'm not an expert, I'll choose this pattern, and then I will choose a sub-pattern. We'll probably wind up making these images, these patterns and sub-patterns a little bit larger, although it's quite likely whoever's actually annotating these will be much more familiar with them than I am. So now that I've selected a pattern and the sub-pattern, where you can see in blue, even though these are technically annotations, the way we have it set up for convenience is you basically then click in the middle of the lesion, and that associates this pattern and sub-pattern with the image. Now that this pin is in place, we are done selecting the patterns and sub-patterns. We hit done annotating. Now the next thing we do is we have a selection of details to choose from. I'll need to edit this list. This is just sort of what I threw together. A couple of things to notice. In our image, you may notice that we have this giant fiducial. We do not want the giant fiducial. I just turned off draw mode so I can pan and zoom. I'm going to turn draw mode back on. I'm going to click on the fiducial, or in this case a colored sticker, and I'm going to mark this area as having a sticker. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, if there's, say, some sort of artifact or some area of the image that you just want to ignore, you have a feeling it's going to break the annotation station, I'm putting a circle around here. This is probably the edge of the dermoscopic instrument. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click some details. You can see here, this is a little bit hard to see. We'll probably make these bigger. This is some spots. This is the blue version, the brown version, the red version. So I'm going to pretend There's some spots here. We can adjust the colors of these different objects. I just haven't done that yet. Here's a reticular area. Right now, this apparently is just set as a point of interest, so I'm just putting a pin on where the reticular areas are. Here's a pseudopod. In this case, I probably need to zoom in to actually see it. So one thing, you can actually navigate with the thing over here on the right, or with the little nav bar on the right. So I'm going to pretend I see a pseudopod here. I need to turn back on draw mode. I'll pretend this is a pseudopod. I'll pretend this is a globule. This is a red one. There's a red globule. So we haven't finalized the color codes. Also, use another fiducial that might be on there. In this case, it's a ruler. Pretend there's a ruler here. Anyway, at this point, I've gone through all the details and sub-details that I want to mark up. And so what I do now is I hit push to database, and I will now begin the second one. Hit begin, and the process begins again. Markup normal, done annotating, markup lesion. So I'm going to show you how quickly this could be done if you weren't chatting. Now we'll mark up patterns. In this case, I don't know, pretend it's it doesn't. I don't know why I'm trying to. We'll pretend it looks like this. Put my little fiducial in the middle. In this case, because of the way my screen's set up for the video, I have to scroll down a little bit. Now I hit done annotated. Now I'm in the details mode. So I'm drawing the circle here, colored sticker here. I'm going to, I don't know, say there's a globule here in the middle. Click that. Draw a little square. Notice over here there's a drawing bar that actually shows you the shape and the color that we're doing right now. Anyway, I'm going to say that's it. I'm going to hit done annotating. I hit push to DB, and I move on to the next one. Hit begin. So this is basically a quick overview. Now, other thing I'll show you real quickly is there's another panel for administration. This lists all the images that have been assigned. If I click on an image, see if any of these have, I don't know which 3 of these I annotated already. We'll add that. I should be able to tell. So ideally what will happen is if I've annotated all 200, or we'll obviously add a filter so we can find the ones that have been annotated, we'll be able to quickly actually pull up the thumbnail. And also this interface, oops, as I hit back. This interface also allows you to assign these work lists. Here's the different users that have been created. Oh, now I can do it. So I click on D.A. Gutman, and image ID 22 and 29 have been annotated. And essentially, this is the metadata that talks about the annotation object for that subject.